Guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make your first $1,000 with freelance brand scaling, even if you have zero experience. Okay. Now, the reality is the 1K is not about skill. It's about one client and a simple system I'm going to be breaking down for you guys in this video. Okay. Now, let's go over something really quickly before we begin. And that is that there is this myth that you can kind of learn ads, get good at it, then start outreaching to people. And to be honest with you, this is where most beginners get stuck because they end up wasting a lot of money, a lot of time and energy. Meanwhile, all their competition ends up surpassing them, right? When in reality, what you can actually do is outreach, get opportunities, and then learn while doing so. And this is what is the right way, okay? Because ultimately our goal is very simple. We want one client for $1,000 because that will be our first $1,000 made with freelance brand scaling, okay? Now, I made an entire process right here that we're gonna be covering in this video, and it gets pretty in detail, so stick around. But let's go on to step number one, which is getting your first opportunity. And that's all comes down to traffic, okay? This is where your opportunity comes from because you don't need followers, you need conversations. Outbound beats waiting every single time, okay? Now, you could do things like Instagram DMs, cold email, or cold calling, and there's so many other different traffic sources you guys can do. And you could initially do something like 50 to 100 DMs a day and maybe get 1 to 10 replies. There may be times you may even get nothing, all right? But the goal is to obviously get as many people as booked as possible, end up closing them. But what are we actually going to be closing them on, all right? Now, that's the offer. And this is why they're going to be saying yes, is because you're selling them a trial and not a promise, all right? A lot of people like to sell promises and dreams to people when they know it's just complete BS. You want to sell them on a trial that is pretty much a no-risk offer for them, all right? And you're learning while delivering because you're going to be running a 7-day trial, and the client only pays for ad spend. You prove your results, and then ultimately, we're going to turn that proof into a retainer, okay? Now, outreach eventually will get you trials, you'll get proof, and then you can sign people on retainers. That's the simple process, all right? Now, for that trial, usually I would absolutely do 7 days maximum. Anything longer than that, you're honestly shooting yourself in the foot because you don't even know if these people are going to convert yet, okay? You're working for free at that point, so just don't risk it. Now, you could do something like maybe 3 to 4 days even, but honestly, like I said, I wouldn't do anything more than 7 days, okay? And you only want to spend around $20 to $50 a day in ad spend to do testing. And I mean, if they have a higher budget and they're willing to opt in for that, please be my guest. But usually I stick around $20 to $50 a day within that week trial. Now, there's only one clear metric that matters, and that's either getting leads or sales. Okay. Now, whether you're in the e-com niche or like, whatever, or you're in service-based business, that kind of depends. Leads in this case being service-based businesses, sales for being e-com. And you need to be giving your clients daily updates. Okay. Because at the end of the day, this is what's really important right here. What your cost per lead is, your client messages, right? Getting like that sort of proof of concept that it's working, and then getting that dashboard screenshot of the results so you can use those essentially as like proof. And then eventually that will turn into persuasion and make them want to sign on to that contract, okay? Now, let's lock in on the first 1K so this doesn't fall apart, all right? And this is the very important system right here. And this is actually going to be what I call the retention system. And we're going to be creating a retention engine. But first, before we get into that, we need to make 1K predictable instead of random, all right? The math is very simple. You can get 2 clients at $500 a month or 1 client at $1,000 a month, right? Either or, great. And honestly, most of you guys can do this within your first month easily. Matter of fact, even your first week, okay? Now, starting range, if you want to be a little bit careful, you could sign people on maybe a $500 retainer, but it can go upwards of $1,500 or more. It really just depends. And I think as you guys get more experience, you can obviously charge a lot more. If you guys looked at my Instagram stories recently, I signed somebody for $5,000 per month recently. But back to what I was saying, we need to build a retention engine, okay? As you can see, this is exactly how it works. You need to get results, you need to communicate, build trust, and the client's going to stay. And that's exactly how you're going to keep clients coming around and paying you thousands of dollars every single month and making sure that you're getting a predictable income rather than just getting a few one-time payments, right? Now, the retention rules are very simple. You need to over communicate really early on when you're building the relationship with your client, right? You want to make sure that they're in the loop. They know what's going on. They know where their money's going, and they know if they're actually getting results. Okay. Now you could do daily result or daily updates. You could do weekly updates. It's honestly really up to you. But if you could do daily, it's honestly a lot better. And I think they'll appreciate it a lot more because they think that you're actually putting more time and energy into it. And they're going to see that and see that you're eager and want to continue working with you because they like the communication. They want to know what's going on, right? Now, the important thing is to understand is that small wins are better than big promises, all right? At the end of the day, they want to see some sort of small growth. That's exactly what the trial is for, is to get some small wins to convert into big wins eventually, right? Now, when you do retention and price, that becomes a predictable income. Okay. Now, in the future, after you start getting your first $1,000, you can do a few things. You can raise your prices, obviously, which we talked about earlier, add backend systems, and eventually end up building a team and or a marketing agency like myself, which I have other videos on, of course, as well. But this is kind of like a roadmap that I already created for you guys to kind of go over it. And it's kind of like a 3-step process to help you furthermore get to that $1,000. And it's really easy. So let's kind of go over this. All right. Now, step number 1 is learning the ads. All right. Learn Facebook and Instagram ads. Focus on one skill only. All right. All it takes is learning one skill to actually get into brand scaling and make your first $1,000. All right. And that's kind of getting the Facebook Ads Manager basics. That's all you really need. I promise you. Okay. Now you can watch a lot of free YouTube content out there. If you guys want to watch some sort of video on ads, I already have a video listed. I'll put it somewhere in the description down below so you guys can watch that video for completely free. And you guys don't need any sort of course for this, by the way. All right. It's free. You can watch the basic information, get familiar with it, and then just kind of learn as time goes by. Right. There's 2 things you can learn. E-com ads and lead gen ads. Both of them are very, very, very good skills to have, especially when it comes to brand scaling, because if you don't want to be dialed down to just one specific niche, you can honestly have both. And I mean, the more the merrier, right? Now, the time required to actually learn ads, I would say, is around 7 days. Obviously, in the future, you're going to be learning more and more and more as time goes by. I'm always learning more every single day as I work with more clients and I get more information and more data. But the basic concepts would probably take around 7 days. All right. Now, why ads in the first place? Okay. Every business needs customers at the end of the day, and paid traffic is just the highest converting based off what I've seen so far. All right. And to be honest with you, that's how every company actually ends up scaling. All right. Now, step number 2 is finding that actual client. All right. Now, if you're doing 50 cold DMs every single day, you are guaranteed pretty much to get your first client. Maybe it'll be a free trial, but like I said, you can convert that into a $1,000 retainer. Easy. Okay. Now you can reach out to local businesses or e-com stores. I didn't list any e-com niches right here, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. But for example, detailers, barbers, gyms, med spas, etc. Right? If you send 50 messages out to them every single day and you build consistency off that and you do it every single day without failure, you are literally going to be getting a client probably within your first week, to be completely honest with you. Okay. It's a simple pitch. I already have pitches available all over my YouTube. You can find them in some of my previous videos, but super simple. You pitch them on a 7-day free trial. That's pretty much a no risk offer to them. Right. And all they have to do is literally cover the ad spend, which they would be doing anyways, even if they weren't working with you and doing it on their own. But instead, you're the experienced one and you're saving them thousands of dollars in this case, because maybe they don't have the time to learn ads, or maybe they just don't want to risk it. Right. All you need is literally one yes. Okay. If you do a daily volume of 50 DMs, this timeline could take maybe 5 to 7 days area, maybe even less. Now, let's say you have the conversion of 50 DMs, you get 5 responses and 1 client, right? That would be amazing. That'd be ideal. Now, that obviously could be subject to change. There's times where you can send out 50 messages in bulk and you won't even get a single response. Sometimes maybe not even a scene. And that happens. That's part of the game. You have to build consistency, because at some point you're going to get that one person that says yes, they're interested, and they're going to want to move forward with it. Okay. Now, the last part is the deliver trial. All right. You're doing a 7-day trial, and then that's eventually going to convert into a retainer. Okay. Now, for these clients, you could do a couple things. Maybe create them a one short video, 15 to 30 seconds long. Set up an instant form if it's lead gen. If it's sales, in this case, you'd be setting up a sales campaign, run $20 to $30 a day for 7 days, generate leads or sales pretty quickly, and then convert to maybe a $750 to $1,000 a month retainer and or more, depending on if you can kind of understand their situation and they're honestly pretty hooked on the service that they got from you. Okay. Like I said before, ad spend would be $20 to $30 a day. Your trial duration would be around 7 days, and your first retainer could be anywhere from $750 to $1,000 a month, or even less if you want to just get that first initial payment. I've seen people take retainers of $200, $300 up to $500, even less. I mean, it really just depends. And that's the beauty of brand scaling, is it's all in your court. So now you can learn, take 7 days, maybe do outreach for 5 to 7 days, trial another 7 days. You should eventually be easily able to get a $1,000 a month client. 2 to 3 weeks total, 50 DMs per day, 1 skill needed, your first $1,000 month. And the truth, simple doesn't mean easy, but this is the actual path. Now, what I want you guys to do is actually go execute everything that I showed you guys in this video, okay? Now, it may seem very basic, but on surface level, if you guys do this, you are guaranteed at least one $1,000 per month client. And I can tell you right now, the more consistent you are with this, you're going to be landing bigger deals. If you're posting the results on social media, you're making reels, you're making TikToks, you're posting on Instagram, you're making highlights or whatever, right? And you're staying on top of this and you're building out a team that maybe even can go do outreach for you and delegate a lot of this work right here without you having to lift a finger, you're going to be signing a lot more clients more frequently and honestly getting paid a lot more, right? But the first thing is getting that initial first $1,000 to get you motivated, to get an understanding of it, to get a feel for it, and to kind of see that there's this actual business model that works if you put in the work, right? There's this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, like there's no business model out there that is essentially going to just guarantee you money if you don't put in work. So it's going to take time for you to obviously go do these things. And like I said, it says 2 to 3 weeks here. That's kind of like a guesstimate if you really want to take your time slowly. But truthfully, guys, you could probably get this all down within your first week. All right. Like I said, I have so many different videos on my channel. I suggest that you watch all of them. I have so many on this one and even in my main channel, which I'll link below in the description. But truthfully, guys, please, 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 please go execute what I showed you guys in this video. This is a clear system to get you your first $1,000 per month client. And honestly, even more if you use it effectively and you took notes and you know how to actually scale from here. But to be honest with you guys, that is the clearest and easiest way to get $1,000 within 21 days. And to be honest with you guys, I know you guys can do this. I know you guys can do it a lot sooner and make a lot more money. It really just comes down to how consistent you want to be and how bad you really want this at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to kind of leave off on that note right there, guys. If you have any questions below, please make sure to comment them. I got you guys. I'm going to answer every single question. I get back to every single one of you guys. I'm going to pretty much reply in detail, whereas some people like to kind of give these basic knowledge, whatever. I'm here to give you guys as much info as humanly possible. Now, not only that, if you guys are looking to get a little bit more hands-on help with this, I'm going to put a link down below in the description, which is going to be to my freelancebrandskilling.com, where you guys can actually apply to work with me one-on-one. I'll walk you through this entire roadmap, and we can honestly work together as a team and help you secure that first client ASAP, probably within your first week, as we've seen with other students before in the past. As you guys can see on there as well on the website, you've seen tons of testimonies and results from people that have secured clients within their first couple of days, maybe even made a couple $1,000s within their first week. So make sure to go check that out. Like I said, if you guys have any other questions, make sure to drop them down below. I'll get to you guys as soon as humanly possible. If you guys have any other suggestions or videos that you guys would like me to make that would help you answer your questions, maybe a little bit more in detail, please feel free to drop them down below. But I really appreciate all your guys' time today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.